Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Showing off the vocals this morning, babe. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Grenada, Caracou, PT, Martinique. Blessed to have you with us this morning. Thank you so very much for starting your terrific Tuesday with us. It is June 22nd, 2021. Happy to have you. Trust you had a peaceful, restful Monday night and you're ready to get Tuesday up and running. Thank you so very much for starting your day off with us here. Those of you joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11, and 20. And those of you joining us on Classic 105.5, 105.9, and all the folks joining us on Party Grenada and Go To Fet Facebook pages. How are you doing, neighbor? Oh, Sakit and Pale, lots who here tell the others. Good morning, Grenada has started. To all our viewers and listeners joining us across the Caribbean, whichever part of the region you are, happy to have you. A spicy Grenadian 473 morning to each and every one of you across the region. And those of you joining us internationally, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. Bless up all yourself. Have a good day, as the song says. Let's have a good day. It's a good day to have a good day, and it's a good time for the word of the day. Oh, let's see what I do there. Oh, skills and tricks, boy. All right, let me see. This morning's word of the day. Hope everything is blessed, my neighbor. This morning's word of the day is abrupt. Abrupt. It's spelled A-B-R-U-P-T. Abrupt. It's an adjective which means characterized by or involving action or change without preparation or warning, sudden and unexpected. It can also mean rudely or unceremoniously curt, lacking smoothness or continuity, giving the impression of being cut or broken off. Word of the day this morning is abrupt. The word abrupt, hold on there. Let me start up and you look at tune in the back. Right, let me go. We'll break it to you gently. Abrupt derives from the past participle of the Latin verb, which means to break off. It combines a prefix ab with romper, which means to break, and which forms the basis for several other words in English that suggest a kind of breaking, such as interrupt, rapture, and bankrupt. Whether being used to describe a style of speaking that seems rudely short or something that seems rash and unprecipitated, abrupt, which first appeared in English in the 16th century, implies a kind of jarring unexpectedness that catches people off guard. That's the word of the day this morning, abrupt. A-B-R-U-P-T, an adjective which it means characterized by or involving action or change without preparation or warning, sudden and unexpected, rudely or unceremoniously curt, lacking smoothness or continuity, giving the impression of being cut or broken off. An example of the use of the word: we were all stunned when Dennis made the abrupt decision to quit his job and move to Italy. Another example of the use of the word: the ending was abrupt with projects shut down overnight. That's the word of the day, A-B-R-U-P-T, abrupt, an adjective which means characterized by or involving action or change without preparation or warning, sudden and unexpected, rudely or unceremoniously curt, lacking smoothness or continuity, giving the impression of being cut or broken off. Word of the day this morning. Many of us should be familiar with the word abrupt or abruptly. That's another, what's what I'm looking for again? Another form? Another form, I think. Form is what I'm looking for. I don't think form is what I'm looking for. But either way, you know what I mean. Abrupt, word of the day today. And as you go about your terrific Tuesday, the thought for today is: give yourself a gift today. Do your best to stop being hard on yourself. You were born to love who you are, and that's the greatest gift you can give yourself. Give yourself a gift today. Do your best to stop being hard on yourself. You were born to love who you are, and that's the greatest gift you can give yourself. Love yourself. 2 words this morning. Love yourself. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of who you are. You got this. With the Lord by your side, you got this. Give yourself a gift today and do your best to stop being hard on yourself. You were born to love who you are, and that's the greatest gift you can give yourself. I love that thought today. All right, we're going to skip what is celebrated today and get right into congratulatory messages or a message. Congratulations to all 1,720 students who were successful in the CPEA exams, the 2021 CPEA exams. Congratulations. Our job well fought. It's been a tough 2 years preparing for CPEA and the actual year of CPEA in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, but you all persevered. You all did very well. Congratulations to the over 1,720, I believe, students who were successful in CPEA. Again, the top performer, Ryan Chow Chung of Westmoreland Junior, going to Presentation Brothers College. Second place, Tiana Mitchell of Grenada Junior Academy, making her way to St. Joseph's Convent St. George's. Ashiel Jessame of Croshu RC and Keon Smart of St. Andrew Methodist, both tied for third place. And Ashiel will be making her way to SJC St. George's, and Mr. Smart to St. Andrew Anglican Secondary, aka SAS. And in fifth place, Alicia Marisha Gordon of Alpha Junior, going to St. Joseph's Convent St. George's, my alma mater, up in the ting all year. Okay, sorry. Let's try to say it. There we go. Right. So congratulations to all our students. Those of you who were not successful, nevertheless, we'll use this as a learning experience for next year, God willing. You know where you went wrong, so you're able to adjust and prepare yourself better. You and mommy, daddy, guardians, aunts, uncles, teachers, to prepare for 2022. So just buckle down. Don't feel too bad about it, Just wash it off. It's done already. It's gone already. Just put on your learning experience and move forward and prepare for 2022. To all the students going into secondary school, that's a different kettle of fish. But seeing as you all were so successful, considering the environment for the last 2 years, I know you all will do very well. So congratulations to all our students successful in CPEA. Bless up all your whole selves, persevering under trying circumstances and doing exceptionally well and making it into the secondary school life. Bless up all yourself. Congratulations. Congrats to all the parents as well, the teachers, principals, all of you who worked with your students. Congratulations. I feel it in my spirit to hail up the students of Florida Government School. Your physical environment is another trying experience, but you got 100% passes in CPEA. So I have to hail them up. They did very, very well considering the circumstances. COVID-19 and your building not up to scratch. Let's put it that way. But you got 100% pass rate at Florida Government School. So big up all yourself. Big up St. John. All right. It is now 14 and a half minutes to 7 o'clock. Let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms, we bring you highlights of last evening's newscast. It's Good Morning Grenada on a terrific Tuesday. We'll be right back. The jubilation and excitement from students, parents, and teachers as CPEA results are released is always palpable. This year was no different, it being the second consecutive year students have sat the Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment, then awaited results under pandemic conditions. Toned down due to the COVID-19 restrictions, the celebrations by the top performers were, however, fully evident.
Westmoreland Jr. captured first place with Ryan Chowchong leading the charge as he prepares to continue his journey at the Presentation Brothers College.
I feel overwhelmed because I was hoping to do well, but never could I imagine that I would do this well. And I'm thankful for everybody that helped me get to this position.
Ryan tells GBN paying attention in class, studying hard and being positive are the factors to his success.
Just study hard in your class, make sure you pay attention, and make sure you keep a mindset that you can do good and you can pass.
The aspiring veterinarian describes his CPE experience.
Well, it wasn't particularly easy or hard. It was somewhere within the middle, but it wasn't hard.
His mother, Anya Chowchong, a prominent businesswoman and single parent, though elated, warns that status does not determine success.
First of all, I just want to say how grateful we are to God. You know, I think the greatest feeling I am feeling right now is gratitude. And gratitude to the Almighty, gratitude for this school and for the teachers who every day dedicate their lives to helping these children do better. And this is as much their accomplishment as it is Ryan's. So, I mean, of course, I'm his mom. I'm very proud, very, very proud of him. And today is a good day.
GBN also caught up with Alicia Gordon of Alpha Jr., who placed 5th, as Alpha captured 2 top 10 places, with Kinaya Allen placing 8th. Alicia says she felt excited and happy when she learned that she made the top 10.
Placed 5th, and I was studying really hard, and I was working on past papers to find out the types of subjects, the types of topics that I would be getting on the exam, and it was very nervous at the first time of the exam because I did not know what was coming, but through the days it started getting more accustomed to it, and it started getting easier, and it made me feel calmer.
We also spoke to Antonia Williams, grade 6 teacher at St. Mary's Jr., as they captured 3 top 10 positions. Williams says they were elated at the results, noting the challenges COVID-19 posed.
Always been exceptional students, yes. So I have been looking for them, to perform in the top 10. And like I said, I'm very proud that they have been consistent throughout the process.
I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Congratulations to all the students. Now, 2 schools tied for the 3rd position in this year's Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment CPEA. The St. Martin de Porres Catholic School and the St. Andrews Methodist School. GBN took its cameras to the schools and spoke with the top performers.
First, I felt a little shocked, but now I feel overjoyed.
Okay. What are you
looking forward to staying focused on completing my goals and topping the school.
Topping the list for her school and 3rd place on the island is Ashel Jessamy, a student of the Crochet RC School. With a score of 483, Ashel will be moving on to the St. Andrews Anglican Secondary School when the new school year begins in September. She aspires to be a doctor or a teacher. Teacher Yvette Calise says it was a challenge to get to this stage, but she's honored. 48 of the 58 candidates were successful. 5 years ago, she says, the school was on the top 10 lists.
This year it has really been a challenge to work with the students due to the fact that they would have missed out in grade 5 due to the COVID, and then when they returned to grade 6 it was like day in, day out for them for quite some time. So it was a challenge to accomplish and to get the syllabus completed. However, today is a day of rejoicing. I am just so happy, I'm just so proud that my students would have done well, especially Ashel.
Over at the St. Andrews Methodist School, Keon Smart is another student placing 3rd on the island with 483 points. For young Smart, the 3rd position was not in sight during his sitting of the exams, as he felt more like the 7th place. As he shared his excitement, he also delved into his future aspiration.
Feels exciting. I feel invigorated. I feel happy that I've accomplished what I have, and I've worked hard. I had emotional support, like my auntie Ralda. I would like to thank her I'd also like to thank my mother, Orlando. I would like to thank everybody in my family. Like, see myself becoming maybe a CEO of a company. I don't know what I would go into as the CEO or what I would, manufacture, but I do see myself becoming a CEO one day.
Smart will be moving on to the St. Andrews Anglican Secondary School. Joining him is Desil Jones, who placed 6th, and Delron John, placing 10th on the island.
I feel very elated, I feel accomplished, I am very proud of myself. My future career would be a neurologist, brain surgeon, and yeah.
Feel happy, feel proud, I'm amazed at myself.
77 students at the St. Andrews Methodist School sat the exam, of which 76 were successful. Acting Principal Kenson Batiste says the school has been doing well, but this achievement tops it all.
I have 3 students in the top 10. Feels really good. Amazing. Maybe it has not really hit me as yet, but to have student placing 3rd, which is better than 6th. And the fact that he's a boy, normally boys are left behind in academics nowadays. However, to have a boy and to have 3 students in the top 10 and 18 in the top 200 is really a great feeling. And
Christina John, GBN News.
Well done to the teachers as well. As we move on, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has issued a Level 1 travel health notice for Grenada due to COVID-19, indicating a low level of COVID-19 in the country. The notice stated that the risk of contracting COVID-19 and developing severe symptoms may be lower if the persons are fully vaccinated with an FDA-authorized vaccine. The notice encouraged travelers from the USA to review the CDC's specific recommendations for vaccinated and unvaccinated travelers before planning international travel. Fires at the Perseverance landfill are costing the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority thousands of dollars. The most recent fire occurred late Friday on the tire site in Perseverance. A few days earlier, the main disposal site ignited. Christina John was on site Saturday and has this report.
Speaking during a press brief on Saturday, General Manager of the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, Lyndon Robertson, says that an investigation is ongoing to determine the cause of both fires.
Yes, we have an investigation ongoing, and we have the report of the investigation from the June 6th fire that we are working with. Penalties would be as per the justice system. Anyone that is guilty of starting the fires would be dealt with through the legal system.
Results of investigations conducted into the 2017 and 2020 fires returned inconclusive, he says. Security posed a challenge, Robertson added, in determining the actual cause of the recent fires, whether it be from human activities or natural ignition. The Solid Waste Management Authority is working assiduously to put measures in place to identify the source should such fires occur in the future.
So it is unfortunate that we do not have the footage to identify the actual cause of the fire right now, and we do not have the evidence that it was the origin is from human activity. But we are hoping that in short order, the entire facility, including the old disposal site and the construction and demolition site, would be outfitted with components of that surveillance system that we are installing.
This fire, Robertson says, restricts their ability to strategically improve waste management in Grenada. He spoke of the cost incurred from previous fires.
The 2017 fire, which lasted close to 2 years, the direct cost of controlling that fire was about $350,000. And the last extensive fire we had from January 9th, 2020 to June, the end of January 2021, that fire had costed us in direct expenses $430,000. We have not yet put the figures on the June 5th fire, but we estimate that it could be costing us in the order of about $10,000 per week in direct intervention.
Robertson said the fire at the tire site may last about 3 days, following which an assessment will be done. Motorists are encouraged to exercise caution when plying that route, as visibility may be a challenge, especially at nights. Christina John, GBN News.
I'm reaching my dreams with GOT. They're the ones for me. I'm reaching my dreams with GOT. They're the ones for me. Since 1983, they've been serving the country, and we like all their financing, giving the people what they want, what they need, what they love. Come and join the family that's here for you all the way, from birth to graduation, your first job to your home and your car, through your golden years.
The GT Credit Union has been actively supporting nation building through its many sponsorships and programs, including Financial Literacy Quiz, Pass the Torch Calypso Program, Junior Cooperatives in Secondary Schools, CPEA, and the TAMCC Grants. The credit union has helped many people make their dreams come true. Let them help you with yours. You don't have to be a teacher to be a member. So what are you waiting for?
GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
Get vaxxed, hey, hey, vaccinated. Get vaxxed, hey, hey, get vaccinated. Vaccinated. So wear your mask, wash your hands, and practice social distance. This is we chance to advance. Come let we fight this COVID at once. So come on, let we fall in line. We want to come back to with social life. There is vaccination island-wide. So come on, let we fight it to protect we and we family.
This is a message from the Grenada Red Cross and the Ministry of Health.
Do what you wanna do, go where you wanna go.
Get boobies, get going, get boobies, get going, get boobies, get going, get boobies, get going.
State-of-the-art Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
A whole new level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. all brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. Plumbing fixtures, cutting and grinding discs, PVC glue, drywall screws, and power saw blades. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
An additional 3 people were arrested and charged for illegally entering Grenada over the weekend. This is just 1 week after 2 Vincentian siblings were brought to court and charged for the same act. Rena Pierre-Thomas has more in this report.
Immigration officials continue to crack down on people who come into Grenada illegally, breaching all COVID-19 protocols. On Saturday, 3 Brazilian nationals were arrested and charged for entering the state of Grenada without adhering to stipulated entry protocols. Willa Machado, Jefferson da Chua, and Otter de Silva reportedly arrived on the island via speedboat at Grenada St. George and were subsequently detained by immigration authorities. The men were charged for entering the state without the consent of any immigration officer and failure to submit to a government-approved quarantine facility. They are presently in police custody and will appear at the St. George's Magistrate Court on Tuesday. The COVID-19 strain of the virus in Brazil, identified as the Gamma variant, has become a detrimental challenge for health officials there, as over 500,000 people have died from the virus so far, according to local news report. Grenada remains free of active COVID-19 cases for the second consecutive month. Fears are mounting that increased illegal immigrants can also increase the chance of the virus being spread in Grenada. In a recent interview on GBN Mid-Morning Show, ASP Andy Joseph of the Immigration Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force explains that Grenada has seen an increase in illegal immigrants from Spanish-speaking countries.
I believe what we're seeing is an increase in South Americans coming here. So you're talking about Colombian, Panamanian, Venezuelans. We have never seen that trend before. So there is an increase in illicit activities coming to Grenada. We have over 6 Venezuelans was charged for illegal entry, 1 Panamanian, 1 Colombian, 1 Trinidadian. Okay, so that South American country, we see an increase. You know, one may believe they may increase from St. Vincent, okay, but we see an increase coming down, coming from that side, South America.
The recent arrest has brought the number of people charged for the act to over 20 for the year so far. The most recent was Vincentian national Laverna and Leslie John, who were arrested and charged on Saturday, 12th June. They made their court appearance last Monday and were deported back to the country on Saturday. For GBN News, I am Rena Pierre-Thomas reporting.
The Grenada movement calls on government to immediately withdraw what it considers a $10,000 cash bribe for vaccination, while expressing concern about employees' ultimatum, job for jab. Rena Pierre-Thomas tells us more.
That all persons who have been vaccinated will automatically be entered in a lottery draw. And anyone who comes forward between now and the 27th will also be automatically entered into a lottery draw, which will be done on the 27th for $10,000 EC.
Health Minister Nicholas Steele, as he announced what he called a vaccination incentive for Grenadians. However, executive members of the Grenada movement are calling for the withdrawal of the event, labeling it as a cash bribe, citing it as a slap in the face of Grenadians who are given the ultimatum to get vaccinated or lose their jobs. The Grenada movement is calling on the legislative arm of government to put legislation in place to address the current state of affairs surrounding vaccination and employment. In a statement issued on Friday, TGM says the fundamental rights and freedoms of our people are a priority and strongly oppose the laissez-faire way in which the current administration has dealt with the issue of vaccination and employment. TGM said it is extremely concerned about the way the government has handled the contention related to COVID-19 and the question of mandatory or voluntary vaccination for employees that leaves many Grenadians facing an ultimatum, jab for job. The statement went along to say that while TGM understands that both the employer and the employee has rights, the Constitution of Grenada recognizes the right to work, and the administrators of the nation's affairs should ensure that people who desire to work can work where jobs are available. The Grenada movement said in its recent statement, and I quote, "The head of government has left it up to employers to determine who has a job and who does not by enforcement of a government vaccine policy which has no basis in law," unquote. TGM says that this cash bribe money for being vaccinated must be withdrawn immediately, stating that it is vulgar, demeaning, and is a slap in the face of our people who are being told once again that they can always be reduced to a lowest common denominator. TGM is a non-profit organization that recently announced its intention to transition into a political party, said it is not opposed to people being vaccinated, but there has to be law and order to prevent chaos. The lottery draw is carded for June 27th. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear-Thomas reporting.
The government of Grenada has recorded a victory in a court case brought against it by Assistant Superintendent of Police, Kenneth Martin Joseph. Joseph claimed that he should have been promoted to the office of superintendent during the period 2013 to 2018, but the court found that his claim could not be substantiated. Joseph also alleged that the decision to move him from the Financial Intelligence Unit in 2013 was politically motivated, but according to the judgment, failed to present evidence to establish the assertion. The court, in its written judgment on the matter between Joseph and the Public Service Commission, held that, and I quote, "Mr. Joseph has not found any basis for inferring that the commission had been improperly influenced or had abdicated its independent decision-making function in the appointment process." End of quote. Joseph's attorney, Nazim Burke, was also admonished by the learned judge for practices amounting to an abuse of the process of the court for having abandoned part of the claim on the morning of the trial. And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Trelana Charles has been looking around the platforms.
This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience. The 5 men arrested and charged for the discovery of about $1 million worth of marijuana made their first court appearance last week and were placed on bail of $250,000 each.
Speaking to the media after court, Clouden says what they are seeking is uniformity across all jurisdictions in terms of bail charges.
Square foot of land is basically $5, $3. So to set the bail at $500,000 was somewhat excessive.
Our online audience shared their opinions. Roger commented, "Why waste time? Just tax these folks and send them on their merry way. Weed is legal around the world. Get with the times, Grenada. You are missing out on good revenue." Denelson commented, $250,000 each? Okay, so why don't rapists, pedophiles, and murderers get this high charges? Something is wrong with all you. Another individual commented, "It's time to legalize marijuana. After all, it's a natural herb. The use of alcohol that needs to be restricted." Ralph wrote, "Tell the police to sell the weed and fix the roads, light up the place and fix the schools." Lydia asked, "What are the police going to do with the marijuana that was discovered? Sell it or no? Someone will come and steal it right under their noses." And Simone commented, "There are more serious matters to deal with. Legalize the thing already so people can actually make money and not depend on the government's handouts and let police officers go after actual criminals. Put the same energy into protecting the young children from them nasty men, murderers. Protect the farmers. Focus on bettering the healthcare system, education system. Infrastructure needs a huge overhaul, and the list goes on. Instead, they are worrying about weed. The money that could be made from weed can help this stagnant economy. This place, always backwards. That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. If you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, be sure to comment on GBN's Facebook page.
From the thought process to the visual impact, let's take a peek through the GBN ISA lens.
Parents, tonight you get a chance to see what your child or children at St. David Roman Catholic School have been up to. Tonight, our ISA reporter said these pictures show items created by grade 2A students over the past 2 terms for a science and technology exhibition. Which exhibit is your favorite? Send your photos and video submissions via WhatsApp or 405-3052 or other social media platforms.
Hello? I can't see you.
What's good?
But I can't even hear you.
Yo.
Hello? Hello? Ah.
Okay, I see. I'm good. I'm coming in.
Ah. There you are.
Live the experience right now. Enjoy high-quality video calling today. Stream, upload, and share with Digicell's super fast LTE network. Visit our stores today and live the experience today. Digicell.
Montreal, it's time to line virtually one more time. Gemma Rayburn Baines here for Spice Island Cultural Festival, a celebration of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. This summer's festival is a celebration of life with food, fashion, music, and culture. Join us online Saturday, July 10th, 3 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube at Spice Island Cultural Festival. Info, spiceislandculturalday.com.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our 2 convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call 440-1015 or 440-1016 or check out their website hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Trends come and go, but jewelry is forever in style. Give a gift that lasts a lifetime. Diamond Intercontinental have diamond jewelry, gold and silver jewelries, engagement rings, wedding bands, chains, bracelets, and so much more. They also carry brands such as Anne Klein and Guess. Why wait? Visit Diamond Intercontinental Jewelry Store at the Esplanade Mall. Call 440-231234. The number again, 232-1234.
We've been down, but not out. It's been hard, but we've persevered together. We each have a role in Grenada's successful recovery, nourishing our families, guiding our children, caring for our communities, energizing our lives. We are strong. Together, we are Grenada.
Understanding our ocean is education for life. Encourage your students to learn about marine life, water quality, sea level rise. Let them explore sciences. Encourage them through field trips and scholarships. The more they know, the better they can protect our oceans from litter and climate change. Let them rise to the challenge. The ocean is our responsibility, their inheritance, their future.
This message brought to you by the OECS Commission with funding from the Government of Norway. Remlit, tackling ocean pollution from turf to surf.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada, 19 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. Thank you so much. Those of you who stuck with us, thanks for your patience. Those of you just joining us, happy to have you. It is Tuesday here on Good Morning Grenada, which means it is Money Matters Tuesday. That's right. This is a series we have been doing over the last, today's week 11, over the past almost 3 months. What? All the time gone there already? And this segment is sponsored by Republic Bank.
Can you spend wisely and have more savings? Yes, you can. Learn more with Money Matters on GBN Television. The Money Matters series explores 12 top ways to save money. In this series, you would learn how to save by setting up your spending money right. Save on vehicle loans, home improvement projects, your credit cards, and even on prescription drugs. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 7:15 for Money Matters, a lighthearted conversation with financial planner Tarlie Francis. Follow the rebroadcast on Thursdays at 6:50 p.m. and on Sundays at 7:30 p.m. Money Matters is a financial literacy public awareness program sponsored by Republic Bank Grenada.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back, and let's say good morning once again to our financial consultant, Mr. Tarlie Francis. Morning, Mr. Francis.
Good morning, Blossom. Good morning, everyone.
All is well?
Pretty good. I mean, I'm here anxious to hear you deliver the revelation on today's program.
I'm liking it. Liking it. Well, let's get right into it, because this, we'll call it by popular demand. This morning, we'll be doing once again mortgage loans. Now, we had another theme for today's conversation, but some of our Money Matters followers wish to hear a little bit more about mortgages. So that's what we're dealing with today.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, that's good news. It's good news to hear that, you know, your fans and your followers want to hear a little bit about mortgages. I mean, what we'll do next week, we will tack on a few minutes about the medication, prescription drugs, as we wanted to for today. And so next week will be dedicated the rest of the program to how to help your children learn good money habits and about savings. So for today, let's go with the mortgages. So what kind of questions came up about mortgages?
Well, to better understand how the thing works, how to prepare yourself to go to a loan officer to ask the bank for a mortgage, like the right amount to ask for. That's some of the things that people, because I've met people in the streets and they're telling me, asking me questions and expecting poor innocent Blossom. I said, no, I'm not a professional. I will ask Mr. Francis to come. So one of the things they asked was like the right amount to ask for, how much down payment to have, how long to take it for, what rate is a good rate, like what is the paperwork, that kind of thing that they wanted to find out.
Well, that's interesting, really interesting. And I mean, good people we have. That means that people want information. They want to know. They want to be in the know, so to speak, about mortgages.
Okay, so let me start off simple. At what stage should somebody approach the loan officer? How early should you approach the loan officer?
Right. I think it's important to do that early. And how early here is a good question. Whether you're searching for the land right now, or you're ready to build, you're ready to talk to your contractor, or you see a property that you want to buy, regardless of what stage you're at, speaking with a loans officer is something that would help you. And so this is because, and so you should do it. And this is because, you see, the loan officer has a really complete understanding of everything to do with financing. The loan officer know the requirements, they know the schedule you can get. They just know the paperwork you speak about necessary and so on. So it's a good thing to talk to the loans officer. But more important than that is that you will get a personal touch in that major project of building your house. Personal touch on the financing side. You see that connection, like we say, connection does help us with almost anything we want to do. That connection with the loan officer, you'll be building it from very early. And the loan officer will ask you some questions. Maybe I could say plenty questions perhaps, because he's going to ask you what you plan to do, what you plan for the future. And then he's going to ask you a lot of early stage questions to know, like how much money you work for. He would want to know whether you have other loans already, whether you have higher purchase. Yeah? He could ask you a few things like that. And what he or she is trying to do is to find out how much you can afford to pay. And so you want to talk to him or her early. When you speak to the loan officer very early, you go through what the bankers call a pre-qualification. You ain't qualify, you ain't go to details yet, but you just get a general figure of how much you would qualify for to borrow. And the other thing with a loan officer is that even if you're dealing with a real estate agent to help you buy a property, or you're dealing with a contractor, it doesn't matter who you're dealing with. You're dealing with lawyers about buying your land or something like that. Loans officers, they deal with more than you. You come in there for the first time, but they deal with umpteen people over and over. That's their job. So they know the ropes and they know almost everybody. They know all the tips and they know all the ways to do things. So for this reason, I think if you have a loan officer in your friend zone, I will put it, then you will do well. And to do that early in the process of trying to buy a home or build a home is a good thing to do. That would be my take. Start as early as you even start thinking about mortgage.
That explanation makes sense, because my next question is how to work out what amount you can afford.
Right. And, this is one of the biggest fear that people have, especially the younger people, because you're kind of afraid that the loan officer might laugh at you or think that you're crazy if you call a figure. But the truth is that no loan officer is trained to laugh at you. The loan officer, no matter how silly you think your question is, the loan officer is hearing a nice question like this. Ma'am, what amount of mortgage can I borrow, please? Something like that. So don't be afraid to approach your loan officer. Don't be afraid to call a figure that you're looking at, because that might be a dream figure or that might be a well thought out figure. But the loan officer can help you. Don't worry at all. And you will get an answer of how much you could afford based on how much information and truthful information that you give the loan officer. The earlier you do that, the better. And, this is a gentle request for clarification you're giving to the loan officer. So don't be afraid of that. Now, it used to be that banks would say, or lenders will say, we are going to lend people X or Y% times, not percent, but times their salary. So you say, if you're working for $5,000 a month, that is $60,000 a year. The lenders used to say, well, we lend you 3 times your annual salary. So 3 times 60,000 would be $180,000 you would qualify for. So that's like a very general guesstimate. So 3 to 5 times is what in my day they used to say. But I mean, the loans officer can do much better than that, because by asking you all the pointed questions that I mentioned above, you actually, you actually can have from the loan officer a better estimate of the amount you could borrow. I mean, taking it a little further, the loan officer might ask you, what's your take-home pay? And what deductions come from it and so on. He might ask you to see your pay slip so that you can look at what coming out for NIS and all that sort of thing. Loan officer go ask you about your bills, go ask you about your household expenses. A lot of the things that we've been speaking on Money Matters in the earlier episode about planning your spending and so on, the officer will ask you about those things because they want to know how you're managing your livelihood. Yeah. And another thing they'll ask you is, have you been saving and how you've been saving? You're not going to be saving with a loan officer's bank or wherever. No, but the point is you will try to find out what is your habit of moving money from your pocket and your paycheck to a savings or to paying off your existing loans, or if you have higher purchase, how well you're doing that. In the States, they will call that what's your credit score. But what the loan officer is trying to figure out is what your credit worthiness from that, so that they could know whether you're a good candidate or not for lending that very huge long-term loan that you will have to carry for several years. Because of course, for the loans officer, if you can't behave well on small loans, it could be hard for you to behave well on larger loans. So the way in which you check it out is to check with the loans officer, get to those details, and then you put a picture of how much money you have as that can be allocated or provided for each month to pay a mortgage. So obviously, once they determine the amount that you could borrow, the amount that you will qualify for, even though it's an estimate, you wouldn't want to go and check for something more than that. And that figure is important because you could tell your contractor, this is the price range I could work with. So that is the kind of house you should design. You could tell your engineer or your designer that, your architect, so that he don't go and design something way out of your league, you see? That's why that figure is important. And you could tell even the real estate agent what price range you're looking at so that they don't help you look for a house that you really wouldn't be able to afford. So that's why this figure is important. And the way in which you get it is to find out from he who may give you that loan what you qualify for. That's your pre-qualification. So I'd say take advantage of checking out and speaking with a loans officer, because that is free help, by the way. You don't even have to pay for that, because the loan officer too is interested in doing a deal with you in as much as you are interested in getting a loan from them.
So far, it's speak to a loan officer as early as you can to, help make the process a little bit more smooth.
Yes.
And then the second thing is based on your income and your current bills, work out what amount of mortgage you could afford, and in that, the same loan officer could help. Correct?
Yes, that's correct. Because you see, in my experience, in my personal experience, applying for a mortgage is like a 2-stage process. Mm-hmm. In the first stage, you're actually getting a fact-finding kind of set of questions, and it's like a mission. It's a nice, quiet, comfortable chat with the bank, but at the same time, what they're figuring out is what generally you will be able to qualify for. That's the first stage. And now with that in your back pocket, and then you're gone now, and you start to prepare, you start to look for something in detail now. You start to look with your engineer, and until you get an estimate of your construction costs, then you come back to the bank in the second stage now. That is the time when, if they didn't ask for it yet, they must receive your pay slip. If they didn't ask for it yet, they would receive like this, the promise to sell the property from the seller or from the real estate agent. Those sort of detailed things which come into the paperwork too, you get to that stage. In that second stage also, they do a stress test. So they start to work out and they start asking a question now, like if you're young and so on, like you ask you, well, what's your family plans? Because they want to know how many children will be in the mix as you're going up. Well, they don't know for sure, but I mean, you guys will work out more or less. But they do a test to see as you grow, whether you plan to do further studies and things like that. So they look into your future with you to see the affordability, not just now, but also in the future based on your personal situation. So yes, the amount you could afford is a major step, a major thing to clarify when you're preparing to take a mortgage.
Okay, now about the problematic down payment, the deposit. Now, stories are told about mortgage applicants getting rejected because of this. Well, maybe because of lack of or not enough down payment money. So what size down payment or deposit would the bank or the lender ask from you for a mortgage? How to work out what amount you need for the mortgage that you want?
Wonderful. It's a good thing you say a deposit, because it's a down payment, and in the language of the bank and everything, we call it a down payment. But when you look at it, really, it is a deposit. Why I say it's a deposit? Let's suppose you're going to buy. It's easier for me to talk about buy. If you're going to buy a house, and the house costs $100,000, what the deposit is the portion of that $100,000 that you put in yourself. The other portion, the bank won't put it in. Now, let me clarify something very quickly, as I mentioned that. A lot of us, many of us at different times, we have this confusion whether the down payment or the deposit is a percentage of the property value or the property price or the construction estimate, or is it a percentage of the loan that the bank giving you? It is not a percentage of the loan the bank giving you. It's a percentage of the price of the property, the whole price. So if the price is $100, your down payment or deposit is a portion of that $100, and the loan you will get is another portion of that $100. So if you got a 10% deposit or a 10% down payment, the 10% of the $100 is $10,000. That is your deposit towards buying the house. And you go to get a loan, you get $90,000. That is the loan portion of the price of the house. You put them together, the seller of the house get $100,000. You have deposited $10,000 up front. The bank then supported you with $90,000, $100,000. You're going in to enjoy your house. So we clarify that a bit, because sometimes that is a confusion. But in terms of that as an explanation, it also tells you what the down payment should be. Now, I actually went to one of the brochures, that is out about loans, and I saw a little statement on that, which I have here to show you. You see this here? You can see this? How much down payment? That's in the frequently asked question section of this brochure. How much down payment is required? A normal down payment, look at the word normal. A normal down payment is 5 to 20% of the selling price. This is what we just explained, of the selling price of the house or the land or the construction estimate. And this is out of one of the brochures where the bank is saying, come and borrow loan and things like that. So you see, it is something that is important for the bank, it's important for you. And that deposit, they said normal deposit, because it is not like black and white what the deposit is. It really depends on your own financial situation and what the bank could work on with you. Now, remember when we did how to set up your money so that you could manage your savings and so on, even on a small income, we spoke about the 50-20-30 rule, but we also, when we were speaking about car and borrowing, we spoke about the 20-10-4 rule. And in that 20-10-4 rule, we said at least, you should get a 20% deposit for your car. Well, you have to try something similar with a house. With a house, the higher the deposit you get, the better for you. So it's not really, you shouldn't be thinking only about what the bank will ask you for. You should also be thinking about what you can put up as a deposit. And the reason is that if you put up a deposit that is high, then what you would find is that the deposit would allow you to borrow less, because the more of the 100,000 that you could put up is the less you will have to borrow. And the less you have to borrow is the less interest you'll pay overall. And so the deposit is important. It is something that you should think about. And the way you should think about is to try to achieve a greater deposit than just going in and getting a 5% or a 8% or a 10%. Because the more you put in a deposit is the greater your stake in the house that you're going to buy. And the less hold that or demand or lien or charge that the lender or the bank will have on you for that house. There is something called the loan to value ratio. The bank uses that a lot, and you might hear that term when you're talking to your loan officer, the loan to value ratio. What that means is that if the loan is $90,000 $100,000 and the value of the house is $100,000, 90,000 divided by 100,000, that is 90%. Your loan to value ratio is 90%. As simple as that. But you want your loan to value ratio to be low, because if your loan to value ratio is low, it means that is less money you are paying back the bank. And that's why it's a good question about the deposit. And I say you want to have the deposit as nice and as gentle as you possibly can.
Now, what if someone can get the mortgage with only, let's say, 5% or so deposit? Or if someone is really struggling to get a deposit for the mortgage, what to do then?
Okay, right. And I think, in a way, I started to answer that because what happens to us is that in our anxiety to get our dream house, in our anxiety to start the construction process, what we do is that we look for whatever the bank will accept, and we go with that. So if the bank find that we could manage a 5%, we take a 5% deposit. If you're struggling for the deposit and the bank will not take a 5%, they want you to have more after they analyze all your situation. And even you personally, when you look at your thinking, your money, your salary scale, what you think plan for the future, if you really would struggle to find a decent deposit, which I think should really be up to 20% if you could make that, what you should do is to hold on. If you could hold on. If you don't have a problem renting someplace, if you don't have a problem living in your family house where you are, then hold on. But don't just hold on and do nothing. Don't just hold on and fix up your fingernails, and when you say twiddle your thumbs. Hold on, and in the period you're holding on, you create what we call the target savings. You work out that your deposit should come up to 20,000. You right now have 8,000. How long will it take you to save 12,000? You hold on that time, and how much sacrifice you have to make, how much money you have to put aside each month. 12,000 means I have to put aside 1,000 each month in order for you to get there in 12 months maybe. So something like that you work out. Your 12 might be 24 for you. So you work that out and you say, well, in 2 years' time, I will have that level of deposit and I'll be able to buy that price range of house or build a house for that kind of cost. And so you wait and you work on your savings in order to build up the deposit. If you're struggling for deposit, another thing that you can do is look at what you have right now. Because sometimes we have some things that we will never use, or we might be thinking we want to leave it for the children and so on, but that might be a piece of agricultural land someplace, and you could get a good lick of $12,000 for it. It might be plenty, but it will help you to put the down payment to build a house. So you could look also at rearranging your assets, rearranging what you have, selling some things so that you get the money. And another thing you could do if you're struggling for it, when you set the target period, look for a little, what we call a side hustle, a little way to make some extra money during the period, and whatever extra money you make, you put that towards the down payment. So that is what those are some of the things that I'm thinking that you could do until you could get a deposit that you're no longer struggling to make, and a deposit that will help you to borrow less and therefore have you able to be paying less per month during the life of the mortgage.
For those of you just joining us, this is a segment of Good Morning Grenada called Money Matters. It is sponsored by Republic Bank. We're speaking with financial consultant Tarlie Francis. So, Mr. Francis, you just mentioned about the mortgage repayment. Now, since we're speaking 20 to 30 years into the future, how do you set an amount that is comfortable, that you can be confident in being able to pay monthly for such a lengthy period of time?
Yes. Well, how to figure that out, the monthly one? Now, most banks prefer that your mortgage payment should be equal to or no more than it should be no more than 35%, 30 to 35% of your gross income. So you might agree with me though that, I think 35% of your income for your mortgage is quite a lot. Depending on the size of your income, it mightn't be much, but depending on your size of the income, again, it might be a lot. Again, the bank will help you work it out. But what I would say is that to help you, you should use a system like the one we spoke about in the earlier episode, the 50-30-20 rule, where part of the 50% of your salary would include the mortgage payment that you have to make. Once that could fit, then you are in a good place for paying out every month the mortgage amount. I would say if you're renting right now, for example, then compare what you're paying for rent with what your monthly mortgage would be. What you want to think about is that when you're renting, there are certain things you're not paying for, like you're not paying property taxes, you're not paying property insurance, you're not paying renovation for the property. So you have to factor those things in, and therefore, whatever you're renting now, as long as it is not a stretch, you should average that. If it is a stretch already, then you would want your mortgage to be a little less than what your mortgage payment monthly to be a little less than what your monthly rent is at this time, so that the balance would go towards things like your insurance. Even though you have to pay it annually, as we said earlier, you should cater for it from every month's salary. You put aside a little bit so that when it comes up, you pay the house insurance, you pay the property tax. So that's what I would say as to determining how much you can pay monthly. You work it out in your system to ensure in your 50-30-20 rule, your 50% of your necessities includes that piece of mortgage payment, and then also you look to see that you have some extras to be able to pay the insurance and so on, and that will tell what kind of monthly payment is good for you. But again, if you go back to the bank's guide, between 30 and 35% of your gross income, that would be a guide as well.
Now, if I remember correctly, the previous episode we did on saving on mortgages, the longer the mortgage is, the less money you pay each month, but the most interest overall, and vice versa. Now, with a short-term mortgage, your higher monthly installments, but less total interest for the mortgage. My memory correct?
Yes, good memory, good learning. And this is related to interest, and interest is a very important concept for us to understand, because over the lifetime of the loan, we could expect that we pay not just what we borrow for the house that we have, we also pay an extra cost, which is the interest cost. Depending on the interest rate you get, a $150,000 house could suddenly cost you a whole $300,000. Your goal with the mortgage process really is to ensure that you get the absolute lowest possible interest that you can really walk out the bank with, because that would mean that is a less cost that you paying to acquire a house. See, as we said, you also need to know how much you could afford to pay for your mortgage. So out of your entire salary, what portion will go to your mortgage? Most banks typically say, as I said, 30 to 35% of your monthly income. Now, in the case of Republic Bank, they use 35%, right? The sponsors of this program. So if you check a loan officer for a Home Easy loan, for example, that's the one they advertising these days. If you check for a Home Easy loan, for example, the loan officer, he or she will help you to know how much you could afford by putting you in the less than 35% of your gross income or gross monthly salary bracket, and you go from there. That also would relate to how much interest you end up paying. So of course, the longer the mortgage term, so if you have a longer term of mortgage, or if you have a lower interest rate, then you could take more in loan. You could also pay for a higher price of house, and you can afford to allocate much more money to purchasing or to construction. And so it's important to buy something that you can easily and comfortably afford. And the last thing you really want to do is to find yourself in a crisis situation sometime after you take the mortgage and you're unable to pay the mortgage itself. That is a problem we had discussed earlier when we got a question from your Facebook listener regarding foreclosure. So you don't want to get there at all. And we said to people, everyone, if you're confused, if you're a little mixed up about, the process of buying a house using a mortgage, then you're not alone. A lot of people feel that kind of way. So just ask for help. Make sure you find an officer, a loan officer, find somebody in the field, a professional, a financial planner, somebody, and you just discuss along the way to help you get there. But back to your question, Blossom. Regardless of the type of mortgage that you have, this question of a shorter term or a longer term is important. And you actually end up in a place where if you take a term that is shorter, you end up paying less interest overall. So I actually had this piece so that I can show you. See this here? See this here on the board. If you have buyer 1 and buyer 2. Home buyer 1 has 30 years, and home buyer 2 will take a 15-year loan. So that is your question about the term, right? The shorter term is 15, the longer term is 30 years. So the loan is 100,000. Both of them took 100,000 loan. The rate, both of them have the same rate, 8%. 8% is the rate on the loan for both of them. The monthly payment, however, because this is a longer term, you're paying less per month, $734, than if you have a shorter term, which is 15 years, you're paying $956, you see? So the shorter the term, for the same amount and the same rate, is the higher the monthly payment that you would make. But that is not bad, because look at that. That is just about $200 more you're paying every month. Depending on your family situation, you might be able to do that. And look at the big benefit. The big benefit is in the total interest over the 30-year life of the loan that you paying with 30 years is $164,000. But if you had a 15-year loan, over the whole 15 years, the total interest that you're paying is $74,000. That's $90,000 less that you're paying simply by taking this shorter loan. You're paying a higher amount, $200 every month, and you are actually getting $90,000 less than the total interest you pay. The other advantage is that you end up paying off your mortgage earlier. After year 15, you own the property outright and you don't owe the bank, you don't owe the lender anything for your loan. So you see, that is where that question is coming to, a really important answer for us. You look at term and you don't look at it only as to you're going to get a cheaper monthly payment. You look at it as important because what you are doing is saving on the amount that you pay over the period.
Okay, so now this next question is kind of like on the flip side, from another angle. Why do banks turn down some mortgage applications?
So now, well, something I should say to ease me up on that one. All the loan officers I know, they love to give loans. So we start from there. Generally speaking, the bank don't really want to turn down loans. They love to give loans. So I could say that one. But there might be some reasons that we could think about. For example, one reason could be that your income is too low, right? Your income too low for what you're trying to buy. The point is, if you have a low income, to put a mortgage in it, what you're really doing is adding an obligation to your monthly salary on top of your food, your child maintenance, your school fees. You're adding that on top of your utility bills, your electricity and telephone. The question is your income of the size to be able to afford a mortgage payment monthly on top of that? Sometimes you find that you've made an application, you really want to have the house, you really would love to move into your house, but based on your income is a little too low, you're not ready for that yet, or you're not ready for what you really want to buy, and you're insisting with the bank you want to buy that. The bank will say, I'm sorry, I can't give you that because you can't qualify for it based on our calculations. Another reason is the deposit we spoke about earlier. The bank could really not give you a loan because you're simply not making the deposit that they consider is a deposit. So will the bank decide, if the bank determine, after it has all the discussion with you, that you could qualify for a loan of, let's say, $70,000? And in order for you to get a loan of $70,000 based on what you're trying to build or buy, you have to put in $30,000. If you don't have the $30,000, you will definitely not get that loan. So you have the option of maybe buying a cheaper house or building a cheaper house. So you borrow less and you put in what you put in could then match as the deposit. So that could be another reason why the bank is not lending or rejecting a mortgage. And another reason could be your records. This happens especially with people who are self-employed and small business people. You feel your business doing well, you're enjoying some money, you have it and so on, but you have no records. A lot of people don't even save regularly from their small business and from their self-employed income. They just take the cash, take the check, cash it, then you just spend the money, they have no records. If you don't have records, then I mean you have nothing to show the bank that you really are capable of making that payment. It's not enough to see you driving a nice car up and down the road or a nice Jeep or a big van. It is also important that you're able to show records. And so without records, that's another reason why. Or if your records sporadic, your records you have for 1 month, you have for the next month, and you can't show that you have the discipline of managing your own money, that might be another reason why the bank might not lend you money.
I have a bank-related question on the WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp is asking, why do banks say your loan is $100,000 when you're actually borrowing $90,000 after making a $10,000 down payment?
That is not true. The bank will never tell you your loan is more than what your loan is. I don't think so. What that person has just explained is, if you borrowed to buy something that is worth $100,000 and the bank gave you $90,000, the bank's charge or mortgage is over the whole thing that you bought. It's over the house. The title is over the whole thing, which values $90,000. It doesn't mean that the bank lent you $100,000. It means that the bank lent you $90,000 to buy a property that is valued at $100,000. You paid $100,000, and so the loan itself is $90,000, but it is in a property that is $100,000. Your equity in it is $10,000 in that case. So if that person has a little more details, they can contact me and give it to me. I can have a discussion with them as well, or at least I could write back to them. If you could take the question and take any details, yes. But this gives me an opportunity, Blossom, to show you something, that little thing that I had in the back pocket in case it came up. So that's a WhatsApp question you said?
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
Okay, wonderful. Right. You see this thing about the loan to value and the mortgage and so on? For home equity loans, I saw something on the brochure which said that when you have equity in your house, the bank could give you an additional loan where the rate that you get is cheaper than the rate that is advertised. So when I saw use equity to obtain better rates, I went to them and I asked them, so what does that mean? So give me something I could tell people and explain, because I want to understand it myself first. And what they said is that what this means is that if you have equity in your mortgage, then the bank is saying that you will receive a lower rate on any additional financing that you take, lower rate than is advertised. So you know me, I like to get the explanation and the examples and so on. So I said, I'll give me an example, and they did give me one like this. They said, look, if you have $600,000 as your property value, and your mortgage loan or the balance you have in your mortgage is $350,000, then it means your equity in the property is $250,000. You see? Because the thing costs $600,000, you owe $350,000 still, but you have already paid up to your deposit plus the loan payment you've made up to date is taking you to $250,000. That's your equity in it. So that means you could go and ask for additional loan up to $250,000. No, it doesn't mean that, because there's a little fine print. You know, there's always a little fine print. The fine print is what we said earlier, that there will be a condition that your loan to value that we explained should be 90%. So the loan could only be 90%, your total loan. The existing mortgage balance plus the additional loan you take should come up to no more than 90% of the value of the property. So again, probing a little bit, I've tried to find out exactly what I mean, and what that means is this. So in this case, if you had a house valued at $600,000, your loan to value being 90%, that's your maximum, is $540,000. But if you already had $350,000 mortgage and loan, this word here should be loan. If you already had $350,000 as your balance on your loan, then what that means, there should be loan here. So your loan balance is $350,000. That's a correction I'll make later. It means that your additional loan that you could get is up to $190,000. Ain't that nice, Blossom? $190,000 at a lower rate than what is advertised in the market, because you have equity in the property. Equity in the property or equity in the mortgage means that you have a portion of the house value that you don't owe anybody for. That is what equity in the property means. And if you have that and you need extra money, then you could use that to find the extra money. I even asked them what you could use that for. They say you could use it if you want to travel. You could use that if you want to expand the house. You want to build a little walk-in closet. You want to put in a jacuzzi in the house. You want to do some renovation, anything like that. You have medical bills. You could use your equity in the house in order to get additional financing. And that additional financing you will get at a nice rate, a rate which is probably, you can obtain it, they're saying, at a lower rate than what is advertised in the market. You could understand why? That's because you're a good customer, a good mortgage payer, and so on, and you're giving them back a lot of interest anyway, as we showed on the board a while ago.
I have a Facebook question. Somebody on Facebook is asking, how would it affect somebody who is a contract worker? How would it affect them if they are seeking a loan at the bank to purchase a house? And what about it? They have credit. They have great credit, but on contract, how would the bank handle the situation? So contract workers seeking assistance or loans from the bank. How would that affect them?
Yes, again, speak to your loans officer. That's point number one. And depending on which bank you go and talk to that bank. But the way you should think about it is like this. A contract worker is a person who has a stream of income that person gets. That person is in an industry, and the industry tend to have payment to its contractors in this way or that way. When things good in that industry, this is what you have. So if the contract worker is like, say, a contractor in construction, his past contracts, how many contracts he was getting a year, how often does he turn over from one contract to another, the bank will work out all of that with you. Not because you are a contract worker means that you will not be able to service your loan. Your value is not in an employer who is a fixed income employer giving you a job. It is in your ability to generate your business and generate your income. So you may have to put up a higher deposit. That's number one. That might be an example. You may have to bank or create a savings or contingency account with the particular lender. So you might have things like that they will put in place in order to assist the service of the loan. And you should have in that account an amount to say service 6 months or so, the same loan in case you need, but it's your savings account, so you're getting interest on it. So things like that will be done to work with the contractor to ensure that the contractor taking a loan would be able to service that loan during the long term. So those are the thoughts that can come to mind immediately. It doesn't rule out a contractor, but a contractor will have to have a track record of having earned decent income being a contractor over the last several years and having small gaps instead of large gaps, or even if he has large gaps, has the money in the bank or in the credit union, wherever, in order to be able to service the debt during the period that he doesn't have a contract on.
And as we wrap up, Mr. Francis, closing thoughts on preparing for mortgage loans.
Well, again, I would say we spoke about speaking to the loan officer quite a bit. I would say think about putting your hand where your hat Putting your hat where your hand could reach. Putting your hat where your hand could reach. Ensuring that you understand. And it's a good thing to learn certain terms, right? If this is why we do money matters and so on. So you get the financial lingo, you know, what is principal, what is capital, what is interest, what is property tax, property insurance, how it work, you know. Get familiar with those things. Maintenance, how you put aside for maintenance. What happening with if a hurricane come, you know, learn all these things so it will help you prepare for having a mortgage. And most of all, speak with the loan officer and start your savings for a deposit that is sizable. Nothing wrong with putting down a 40% deposit on a house if you can achieve that. So you start now, you start early, and you work through in a diligent way. Don't just wait until you are now 38, 35 years and everybody else have a house who you went to school with and you're ready to buy a house. Don't do that. Don't do that. Start now. And if you're there already, then begin the process immediately. Start finding ways in which you cut back on this so that the money you put it to your target saving as your deposit for taking out a mortgage, and keep in touch with your bank so that you could be pre-qualified for what you want to buy.
Thank you very much once again, Mr. Francis. Always informative and always exciting. Thank you very much. There are still questions on the social media. Maybe I might swing in some of them next week, please the Lord. We'll be talking about children and also help them save and learn money skills.
Very well. And you could also shoot some of them. I could also, help respond to them.
For the people who would like to reach out to you, how can they do so? People have asked me for contact information for you. I said I don't have permission to give his number, but how can people reach you? Your email, maybe?
Yeah, you could do the email. The email is tf@tarliefrancis.com.
Lovely. tf@tarliefrancis.com. Simple.
And I respond to you in 24 hours for the longest.
Lovely. So those of you who still have questions, even the WhatsAppers, you can email him your questions and he will, like he said, 24 hours maximum respond to you. Thank you very much, Mr. Francis. Next week, please, the Lord, our 12th and final episode.
Looking forward. Thank you very much.
Of course. Thank you. Have a good one.
Same to you. Have a good day, everyone.
You too. Financial consultant Tarlie Francis. This segment is sponsored by Republic Bank. We thank them so very much. Money Matters. The last 11 episodes always informative and interesting. So we're looking forward to next week. Please the Lord, how we can help our children save and learn money skills. Let's now join the BBC for its 8 a.m. newscast. Thank you so very much, viewers and listeners, for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.
People